this is your study sheet. I don't know where you're at. A couple things. Maybe let's transition over to word problems. Okay, this is exclusively to word problems. If you have time in seconds and height in feet, can you see that? If you have height in feet and time in seconds, and this starts somewhere like this, okay? And let's say this happens at 2 and this happens at 8. 2 seconds and at 8 seconds you're reaching the top, okay? The period is going to be what? Between 8 and 2, how many seconds have gone by? 6 seconds, right? Today's actually 6-7, lesson 6-7, okay? 67 classes today, this semester. Takeaway in services, takeaway holidays, 67 today, okay? Who's counting? Who's counting? No idea. But, okay, the most frequent you're going to have is a time and height or depth or something like that. So time is your x and something else is the y, okay? You could also have distance, okay? And you can have height. You can have distance and height as well. So if you, let's actually go negative, because sometimes, I might do one more like this. If this happens at, let's say, 0.5, and this happens at 2.5, then what is our period? It's easier probably to just go from here to here, right? And let's say the distance is in meters. I hope you're copying this, or at least you're paying very, very close attention, because I'm trying to help you out with your study sheet, guys. I'm really like rooting for you, but you have to do your part, right? What is the period in this case? From here to here, how many meters have gone by? 2, right? So in this case, the period is 2 meters. It's not always seconds, right? So you have to look at what is my x variable? What is along the x-axis, and you just take it from there, okay? So that's that. I'm going to leave that as is. I needed you to have something for that, to know how do I find a period and what units are associated with it. I would say modeling sinusoidals. I hope this will make sense to you. I'll keep it short and sweet. I would say you need your Y scale. Okay, so min, max, mid. You need your X scale, which is period divided by 4, right? Do you remember that? And you need your start. Is it high, mid? Is it low? Like where does the action start? Okay. It doesn't happen very often, but what if it starts somewhere in midpoint? If it starts somewhere in the middle, they have to tell you where you're going from there. If you're starting in the middle, they have to say, now you're on your way up from there. Because you could go down or up from the middle, right? It's not very clear. So the question has to tell you that. I will make a note. Time may be times 0, time 2, etc., right? So it's not always going to start at 0. So this is just going to be my way to do this. I'll always make a box. I'll slice it in half to have my max, mid, min. Then I slice it in half like this and slice those halves that you've created in half again. You've got your quarters. If you do that, honestly, just put your points, your numbers in there, and then figure it out from there. So let's say the max is, let's use nice and easy numbers, 10, and the lowest is -5. Okay, how do I find my mid line from this? 10 plus -5 is 5. What's half of 5? That would be 2.5, right? So there's 7.5 amplitude. And so let's say example, the period is 10 seconds. Let's just say for this purpose, the period is 10 seconds. How much am I going to go up by every time in terms of the x? This will be 0. This will be 2.5. This will be 5 because it's half a period, right, down the middle. 7.5, 10. Okay. So this is 10 divided by 4 is 2.5. So this is my x scale, right? This is how I'm going up by every time I go along the x-axis. So if I start at the top, obviously I would have to go down like this and back up. And there you have your 5 points. You need 5 consecutive points within one period. I don't know, some of you I think tried, like remember when I assigned that bonus? If you just give max, 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 like 5 maxes, it's not going to work because it's not within one period, right? So you have to kind of cut your wave and then you have to find me 5 in that stretch, right? One period. If you skip, it's not going to work. It can't do it, okay? Go figure, right? And so this is one cycle. 5 points, for sine reg, right? Please use sine reg, not anything else. What else do I have here? Is there something else? So this is your modeling. I feel like we're going to add an example yet after this, but at least I have the basics in there, okay? I can't think of anything else. Like for me, this is enough, but for you, that might not be enough. Like you figure that as you do your homework, you should always have your study sheet and just make little notes, right? Can I just say this? You will encounter this, that a question starts here, like at a max, and then goes straight to the min. That's not a period, right? That's not a full period. This is like 5. If it takes from here to here, if you've moved 5 sideways, then it will take another 5 to get back up. So if a question ever just gives you a max and a min, that's not enough to give you the whole period, but you can figure it out from there. Okay? You're like, oh, if it takes 5 to get to the low, it'll take another 5 to get back up, and now I know that the period is actually 10. So you kind of have to sometimes envision and see what happens there. Maybe I'll do another note. This one threw a lot of you off yesterday. I shouldn't have done that right off the top. How should I say this nice and sweet here? If time for multiple cycles, periods, given, I would add this, so you never know what they're gonna do, right, on the provincial. So if they say like, you spin around 10 times in 5 minutes, that's not good enough because that's 10 cycles. We just wanna focus on one. So then the period is going to be time divided by number of revs, or number of repetitions, revolutions, spins, full cycle. So you kind of have to do this before you proceed to do your, I don't know, I call this like a guitar chord. I don't know. Right? So you do that. Very rare. This, I haven't actually seen it on an exam ever. But that's the frustrating part for us as teachers to prepare you for the exam. I wish we could just take it easy, like always just do the easy ones, right? But then you're not really prepared for the unexpected. So I'm trying to, it's like an onion, like many layers when we do our examples, okay?